Hey guys, what's up? It's Zach with ZR Chess. Going over a great one today, an opening trap for black called the Blackburn Shilling Gambit. The Blackburn Shilling Gambit. And this is going to be a good one to kind of, it turns out for a good position for black if they accept it. If they decline it, it's not detrimental completely, but it's still a good opening for black. You can still play it. I don't recommend it for playing in like tournaments or competitions, but it's very fun to play. So we'll go ahead and go through that. If you haven't seen my videos before, I do chess openings, I do chess videos, I go through different big people's games and analyze. So if you like the channel, go ahead and subscribe it, and we'll go ahead and get started. So the Blackburn Shilling Gambit starts off with e4 and e5, and then the knight goes to f3, and then we take our knight and go to c6 with the Italian game, and then the bishop is going to come out to c4. This is a very normal game you will see a lot of the time where they're trying to get the knight out and the bishop out so they can castle and they can eye down on this f7 square wire king, and then eventually maybe bring the queen out and cause some trouble. So what we're going to do, instead of our normal opening where we're bringing the bishop out or we're bringing the other knight out, we are going to go ahead and throw our knight here on d4. And they can try to push us away here, and we can just go ahead and capture that knight. So that's not going to be an issue for us at all. But what normally happens here, what happens a lot of the times I should say, is we just left this pawn hanging. It looks like we did it by mistake. And what white might try to do is go ahead and capitalize on that and just take it with their knight. Now, if they're going to take it with their knight, then this is the gambit. And there's only one good move here that we can do. If we play anything else, then this was all for naught. So the queen is going to come to g5. And what we're doing here is we're attacking this pawn, and weakening this king side, and we're also attacking this knight. So there's a few different ways white can go about this. Only a couple really good ways. So white can come over here with the knight and go ahead and take this pawn, and forking our queen and our rook. So from here, we're just going to go ahead and take this pawn here. We're attacking the rook, and we're threatening to mate here eventually. So white can do a couple different things. He can move his rook to f1, which looks natural and like a good move, except that we're going to bring the queen to e4. Check. And there's only two ways to block this check, neither of which are good. The first, which white has to do, is move the queen here, and then we just win a queen. Nothing that can be done about that. We've just won a queen. So that's going to be a great game for us. The other is to bring this bishop here, which looks better than losing a queen, except that this is checkmate. It's a smothered mate. The pin's here on the bishop, and it's a beautiful checkmate if you can get this. Now, those are great. Instead of moving the rook here, what white sometimes will do instead is go ahead and take this rook, a rook for a rook. So we've taken a rook, check. King can't come here because of our knight, so he has to block with the bishop. And then we get in the same position again, check. And he's going to have to lose a queen. Otherwise, he can move his bishop here this time. It's just going to be pretty rough because we're going to, actually no, we're not going to do that at all. We're going to bring the bishop here. Because if we go here, check, he actually has a spot to run. And it's going to be, we're still going to have a great game, but this is a forced mate in 7 moves by the analysis on the computer. So I don't know which 7 moves those are because white can move a lot of different things. But the mate here is that we're eyeing down on this square, we're eyeing down here, and we've got the knight ready to come in as well. There's a whole lot going on here. So what white really needs to do is try to move something, get in here, attack our queen, but it's not going to work. Now we're going to go to knight f3. I'm sorry, that's knight f6. Knight f3. Check. And the king's going to have to move to f1. And then from here, we're going to bring the queen right here, eyeing down on the square, and it's a little sneaky because we've left this knight open to take. But if white ends up taking it, that's checkmate because our bishop is eyeing down there. And if white doesn't take it, he has to protect somehow. He might protect with, he can protect the queen. We're going to take it with our knight. He can try to protect with the knight. We're just going to take it with our queen. There's nothing good for white going on here. This is going to be a wreck for him. So let's go ahead and look at another way this can go down. Instead of the knight taking here, sometimes the bishop will take here because it's a check. And so white wants to throw this in. This is probably the better of the two moves. So we have to move our king to d8. And then the best thing for white at this point is to just castle and try to clean up these loopholes. We're going to go ahead and take this knight. And now we're up a piece. And then, he might, a lot of times they go ahead and trade here just because it looks better for them. They get their bishop out of the way instead of, out of enemy territory. And from here, they usually go about something like c3. And this is going to be a really good game for black. You're up a piece. Your king can't castle, it's true, but you can manually castle. It's not going to matter a whole lot once you get your attack going. We can bring our bishop here, and we're threatening mate already. And if he might come here, and then we can just keep the punches going. So there's a lot going on here that we can deal with. Now, real quick, we're going over the accepted variation where he takes the pawn. I'm going to go over the declined real quick just to show you what you can do, what you kind of get into if they don't actually accept this gambit. So that's the thing with gambits. If they don't accept it, you need a backup plan, right? So we'll briefly go over the declined version here. So we're going here, and then we go ahead and do our gambit. And there's a couple ways he can decline this. First, he can go ahead and take our knight instead of the pawn. And then we just take back here, and, usually d3 is the move coming, releasing the bishop. And from here, we're just going to go ahead and get out our knight and start moving along. And so this isn't a bad game for us. We're a little behind in development. He's got an extra pawn out. He might do something. He might even try to attack our knight here. Looks viable, except that we're going to come up with a pawn and attack his bishop. So he could move his bishop out of the way, and then we can move our knight out of the way, no big deal. Or he could take our knight, and then we take his bishop. He takes, and queen f7 check. Queen responds, and then we take. And this is going to be a decent game for either of us. He might take to keep us from castling, or we could have done the same last round here, takes, and then takes. He can't castle, but there's a few different ways we can go there, and that's not going to be a bad game for us at all. So there's also, instead of taking here, he might just go ahead and castle, which is not a big deal at all. We're just going to go ahead and take on f3, and then when he recaptures, we're going to bring our knight out, blocking this checkmate here. And we're still going to have a good game. We're a little behind development. It's not a big deal. We will be able to get through this. We're not down a piece. Nothing wrong with this at all. We've got a decent setup. According to the analysis, we're down a point. But that's kind of what you get with gambits. You're either going to win big or you're going to be down a little bit. And as far as gambits go, this is not bad on the losing side of it. If they don't end up taking the gambit and you end up being a point down, which is essentially a pawn down, it's not a big deal, comparatively speaking to other gambits where, it's all or nothing. You're either going to win or you're going to lose. So, Blackburn Shilling Gambit, guys. Check it out. Try it out on your next Blitz game or your next Classic game. Let me know how it goes. Let me know how you did. And if you actually like this one at all. It's a good one for black. That's why I like it. So, thanks for watching, guys. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to get updates on all my videos. And I will see you next time. Thanks.